everyone, you love the music, now be a part of the movement. Press Play is building a home for artists and fans just like you, and now you can help shape it. All you gotta do is go to pressplay.me and grab you some merch and wear it really loud and really proud, and of course buy it for everybody you know. And know that you're helping musicians and music stay real, independent, and alive. And here's something really special. You can send a personal message to the artist of your choice. If we've done an interview with them, you have an opportunity to write them a note. You can write them a small message, or you can write them a whole letter, and it will go directly to them. Just click the link on any of our interviews, write from the heart, and let your voice be heard. So tune in, rock with us, and press play. Get the gear, send the love. Music lives when the fans do.
To Press Play Radio Conversations. I'm the Don, and with me is the lovely Tina, our CEO, who is sporting an AC/DC hat tonight.
Yeah.
About that, but we got our Press Play gear on, which we'll get into later. But right now, the man of the hour is Jet Jurgensmeyer. How are you, Jet?
I'm good. Good to talk to you guys. How are you guys doing?
We're doing great, man. I've talked to you previously once before. In that, just so the audience knows, because you know it's a new show technically. From the previous one, you were a child actor. You were in a lot of big shows. I know Tina was messaging me about it, and then we're gonna get into your music. But Tina, did you have anything you wanted to start with there before I get into his songs?
Nope. We're gonna start with this music.
All right, let's start with. You gotta love that, right? So I want to play "Good Days." I was mentioning before the show started, we do some stuff with Strike TV. They did an annual countdown. This song wound up on it. I got to introduce it because I love this song. And I'm going to play a clip of it now. This is Good Days, and we'll roll from that.
Why you never wanna run away, run with me, baby, till we find a better place. Always telling me you wanna go, but you're scared of things that change your perfect halo. Yeah. I'm here every time, same thing, but I don't mind. Put me through hell, but I'm always crawling back to the light. Heartbreak to you ain't the same. Something about you and the pain gives me a high, makes me look back to all the ways I got lost in the good days.
And that's just the start to the next 4 songs that are going to come out when I talk about them. I'm saving my. It's hard to say like a favorite song, but there is one song you have which I'm going to feature at the end, and it's just I have on a loop constantly. But this one here, again, it's special to me. Good Days. I think it showcases when you got a full band what you sound like, which is going to be interesting because I've got a lot where it's just you and a guitar, which singer-songwriter stuff is my favorite. I guess we'll talk about this now. Do you write your songs? Do you have co-writes like this song here? Was this a co-write or did you write it?
It was a co-write. Very rarely do I write by myself. I'm a big believer that the more minds in the room typically is better than just one. That one, ironically enough, was my first time ever writing with now one of my best friends, Drew Rizzuto. His sister, Bells, is a phenomenal artist as well. And Drew and I had never written together. I was about to be a freshman in college when we wrote that one. I think literally like a week before I moved into my freshman dorm,
Right.
we wrote. And that happened to be the first song that we ever wrote. I had the idea right before he got to my parents' house. And we wrote it, and I ended up recording it.
Wow, what a song. What do you think, Tina, when you hear that?
I don't know. When I watch Jet sing, period, it takes me back to my youth. Like, his music is very youthful, so it gives me that like really kind of feel goody feel. But yeah, so college, and here you are. Where'd you go to school?
So I'm a junior now at Belmont University, just down the road here in Nashville.
Music school.
Okay,
It is a music school, yes, primarily.
so you're going for then.
I'm a legal studies major with a minor in
Oh.
business. So
Wow.
kind of threw a wrench in there.
I need his
Huh.
help.
I just figured I've grown up in the industry. I've grown up around the business side because of my parents, and then obviously as the performer, I just wanted to be able to understand the contracts that I'd be signing for the rest of my life.
Art,
That's very smart. I
especially
can't tell you
nowadays.
how wise that is.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
especially nowadays. And you know, again with a full band. But I wanted. Oh, did you have a song story or anything, Tina?
I do,
Before I
but,
go to the
like,
next one.
I wanna dig a little bit further
Go ahead.
into Jet. So did you grow up in Hollywood, or where did you grow up?
So I'm born and raised in Nashville. I grew up on the west
Uh-huh.
side of Nashville. My
Okay.
parents still have my childhood home there. When I was 5, I started acting when I was 3 here in Nashville. I started getting on stage when I was 3, and my parents used to own a bar restaurant here in Nashville called the Nashville Palace. And I started getting on stage there when I was 3. Started acting here when I was 4. Sorry, and then when I was 5, we started going to LA. And ever since then, I just kind of snowballed. I was working a lot. I was really fortunate. We also have a place in Missouri where my family's cattle ranch is. So anytime that I wasn't on stage or in front of the camera, I was usually in Missouri with my family on the farm and stuff like that. And yeah, I got to work with some really, really neat people out in California. I was very, very blessed. And when COVID happened, we got out of California and went to where we are in Missouri. It's the middle of nowhere, so we didn't have to worry about any problems. And I would do school because I was homeschooled, and I'd work on the farm. And then what am I supposed to do with these other 4 hours? I guess I'll write some music. So that was when I started taking writing very, very seriously. I'd always been writing. I started when I was about 10 or 11, but when I was in high school, that was when I really, really started doing it pretty much full time.
So, have you decided then you're transitioning out of acting and into music full time, or are you still open to both?
So it's never been an exact decision. It's always just kind of rolling with the punches, if that makes sense. I'm a big believer that God doesn't throw more at you than he knows you can handle. And also, he gives things to you in waves, different phases of your life. That's honestly one of the reasons why my albums are different numbered phases, because it's different phases of my life. Um, and so I still do auditions. I do some voiceover work here from home. Got a mic right here. Uh, but but definitely when I'm doing school and then on the road all the time, it's kind of hard to be on a set. But if the right opportunity comes along, I definitely won't turn it down.
Right.
Fantastic. Okay. Now you can go to song number 2.
Song number 2 is gonna be Going Next.
That's I wrote it with the same guy. That's really funny. Back
Well,
to
then I
back.
think you got a magic combination there. I love this song too.
Never wanted to be fenced in, was never gonna settle down. She rolled in like a westward wind, blowing somewhere eastbound. She gets my heart like the tattoo left on her arm. God knows when we start, it ends up too far. She said she's here for the ride, she's here for the times of empty dive bars, closing down Friday nights. She ain't gonna leave, she's stuck here with me. Girl, just keep kissing me and bringing back the memories, where we've been and how we got to where we're at. We won't end, so tell me where we're going next.
God,
Thank you.
that is such an
Lenny, do you
incredible.
have that kind of experience already in your life?
I do. That's where the ideas come from, because
Yeah.
I'm a big believer. I know we'll get into talking about the song, but I think an audience can smell bullcrap from a mile away. So if I'm
Yeah.
writing and singing about something that I have absolutely no idea what to write and sing about it, then the audience isn't gonna quote buy it. So I only write about what I feel like I can truly relate to.
Does she know?
But yeah. she's well aware. Usually about 3 or 4 songs in, she'll be like, "I think all these have been about me." I'm like, "Yeah, well, what set that off?"
Yeah.
Every good musician needs a muse.
But yeah,
Well, yeah, exactly. The thing is what I love about, and it's rare when it's just the artist and the guitar. For example, when I saw Ed Sheeran at a stadium of
oh my
70,000
goodness.
people, 70,000 people, and it was just he didn't use I mean, he has the pedal effect thing where he kinda reproduces his sound, but it's just him and a guitar, and he commands 70,000 people with just him and a guitar, and
I've seen it twice, and he
it's
never
amazing.
fails to amaze. I saw him
It's
at
amazing.
Bridgestone, and I got to meet him at Bridgestone Arena, and then I saw him at the Rose Bowl, and I've never been more blown away. He's
Right.
so freakishly talented. It set a standard where I was like, I know I'm not gonna be that good live, so I'm gonna work on what I know I can be good at live because I'm not gonna do what he's doing.
Well, you never know. You're young.
Well,
You never know. You never know. This is true. Never say never. But
yeah.
I'll let Ed have that because he's pretty good at what he does. I don't think very few
Indeed.
people. I think very few people can go on stage and have a show that's as entertaining as a solo person as him.
Well, I
Yeah.
can tell you, like, when I'm listening to that song, right, and there's a few others that I'm gonna play that are the thing is, like, when I interviewed John Barry, and I was talking about Your Love Amazes Me, which obviously
Mhm.
is a massive song, right?
Yes.
When he plays that live, you can hear a pin drop, right? Like, everyone no one makes a noise in the crowd.
I can only imagine. I've never
Well,
got to hear him do it live.
well, to me, that's the equivalent to 80,000 people screaming. When you got people that just shut up and sit back and listen to you play and don't say a peep and take it in, that's the equivalent, and John agreed, and to me, when you're playing that song, like, if I was watching you in a venue, I would just sit there, like, taking it in. That song is not only beautiful, the way you sing it, you can feel it on your sleeve, which you said you could smell bullcrap a mile away, and I bring that up because you could, with that kind of performance, command a large
Thank you.
group of people like Ed did, and that's why there's a comparison. I mean, I just sat there listening to that song, like, when I hear it, you stripped down is amazing, and that's not easy to do. A lot of people have to fill it with sound, and that's just you raw, and we've been talking about AI like crazy, which is, everything's gotta be perfect. That's just you and a guitar. You can't get any more real than that, and it sounds amazing.
Thank you so much.
Hats off
It
to
really
you,
means a lot. Thank you.
Tina.
Which is an amazing segue into the question that I've been asking a lot of artists lately is, how do you feel about the new AI movement in music and AI artists specifically?
The AI artist is an interesting topic, so I'll address the first part first. Um, I think AI is a wonderful tool. I really do think that it has some phenomenal benefits, whether you be an accountant or whether you be a musician. Um, to that though, it's a wonderful tool. The second people start relying on it, I think is when you have a problem. But as is anything, everything is good in moderation, anything from your phone to alcohol. So, I mean, everything is fine. Um, I know some people that rely on it too heavily for their schoolwork, and then it shows when they have something that's on a hard copy test and, they're not able to do it. Um, so I really do think that it can be beneficial. You've got, I'm not going to name any companies, but you have some companies where you can do AI demos for songs and pitch them, and it's super easy to do. And as a songwriter, I think that it's very useful because then I don't have to go and spend a lot of money to have somebody record a demo for me and master a demo for me and do all the mixing. And maybe it gets cut, maybe it doesn't. And the only reason I'm willing to say that now is because I have been able to write with some amazing writers that have the cuts and they use the AI demo maker. So if it's good enough for them, they're doing something right because they are getting cuts. So, but I do believe that it needs to be within moderation. And the AI artist is a topic that I'm not too privy on. As long as somebody else is writing the songs and the licensing is done properly and nobody's intellectual property is getting stolen and their creative work is getting abused, then I don't have a problem with it. It's when that other stuff gets put into place. That's the legal studies major in me coming out, though.
Good points. All very good points.
AI is great as a tool, but I just like you said, a test paper, the live experience is the test paper.
Mhm.
Or right? Because you gotta be able to duplicate what you're doing live, or at least the similarity of it. And to me, like what you just did, that's I guess the most you could do is put something on your voice. Like, but there's obviously you're not doing that. So, I mean, I'm like you said, the 70s singer-songwriter guys, Dan Fogelberg's probably one of my all-time favorites.
Mhm.
So when I listen to Dan Fogelberg, it's just him and a guitar, and you get lost when he sings. I mean, most beautiful lyrics and words. Jim Croce was that way. Harry Chapin, James Taylor. I mean, all those legends, right? And so you're bringing me back to that, which is going to bring me to "Nothing on You."
I've ever seen. The moon don't shine anywhere like Smoky Mountain, Tennessee. Yeah, it's true, but darling, they ain't got nothing on you. I've spent more time in broken boots that I can't ever forget. Rode out the seasons in an old 07 Chevy bed. Got my redneck from hours earning this blue-collar tan. I ain't no cowboy, but it taught me how to be a man.
All right, who wrote this? Did you write? Who co-wrote this with you?
So I wrote this one with Hannah Dorothy Bristow and Grant Bias. It was our first time ever writing together, which seems to be a common theme amongst the songs that I write. I had that first verse. I had like 2 lines of the first verse. I didn't really know where it was, but I had the groove and I had the first 2 lines of the verse, and sang it for him and played them the little voice memo I had on my phone, which is always nerve-wracking the first time you throw out an idea to a room of new people. And they liked it. And I was like, okay, cool. I have no idea what the rest of the song is. And Hannah, I believe, had the title "Nothing on You," and she didn't really know what to do with that. So we kind of took 2 ideas that were never meant to be complete by themselves, but when we put them together, it ended up working out.
I love that. Well, the West Texas Sky, is that your line?
Yes.
See,
That-
I when you start the song with the West Texas Sky, it already painted an image, but the line that really was so awesome is, "I'm not a cowboy, but it sure did help me to become a man."
Yeah.
That's a great friggin' line.
I'm very fortunate. So my family has a 3,000 acre cattle ranch in Missouri, and I'm very fortunate that I get to go and work on that farm with my cousin Drew anytime I'm in Missouri. That's our family business. Um, However, I will not venture to say I am a cowboy. I've spent plenty of hours on the back of a horse. Yes, I've roped steers in the middle of a pasture. Yes, I know how to work cattle. But obviously, I'm not doing it every day, and I'm not riding a bull for a living. So in order to try and encapsulate that, well, I don't just wear the boots on stage because it's what's popular. It's because it's what I wear every day. I did want to address the fact I didn't want people to just think that I'm running around being a fake cowboy. I admit that I don't ride bulls for a living, so I had to talk about that in the song.
But wait, what? So what's the definition of a cowboy? I mean, everything you just described before that sounds like what a cowboy would be.
I see.
Haven't you ever watched Yellowstone, Don?
This is true.
Yeah,
Yes.
but what? He rode horseback. He's wrangled
I think what he's
cattle.
saying is cowboys do it day in and day
They
out.
do it day in, day out. They don't quit.
Oh,
Here's what I'll say. I would call my grandfather a cowboy, even though he's a very smart white collar businessman as well. But my cousin Drew, he'll never admit it, but he is as cowboy as they get.
he's day in and day out doing that.
Oh, yes.
All right, I get it now. Day in and day out. That's your job. You're a
But
cowboy.
it's been my lifestyle my whole life. I've worn boots my whole life. I've done country music and ridden horses my whole life. So it is part of me.
Hey, I'm a fake cowboy. Like if I go to Like I'm going to one tomorrow night to interview a band, and they're playing at a like a Gillies type place. It's got the line dancing in the middle and all that. I'll be wearing my boots and a cowboy. Well, maybe not the cowboy hat because that's kind of stupid. But
See, a real cowboy would get mad at me because I stupidly hung my hat hanger in the middle of the wall rather than somewhere on the side so I can hang multiple hats. I have 3 hats hanging on that right now. They're just stacked on top of each other. Terrible idea. Don't do it. They don't hold their
really, really lost your cowboy card. Okay.
Yeah.
What do you think a cowboy is, Tina?
Well, I mean, I agree with Jet. I think that a cowboy is somebody that lives that life day in and day out. It's not I mean, some people consider it a style. Some people, they think of it in different ways. But I mean, I think a cowboy is definitely somebody who lives that roping farm life day in, day out.
And I will say I am closer to that than some people I know because I can spot real ones and fake ones, if that makes sense.
You
Um,
usually tell by their jeans, frankly.
yeah. I think if you know when someone walks into a room in a cowboy hat or in boots, if you know whether they're fake or not, you're a lot closer to being one than you think.
You can tell by their jeans and their hands. Has
Yeah.
nothing to do with their hats or their boots.
Mhm.
Your next song theme is cowboy. If you know, you know.
There you go.
If
There
you
you
know,
go.
you
That's a
know.
good one.
Fake ones and the real ones, man. You got a whole 3 verses right there that you could do.
Pretty much. About
Do
got
it.
the song written.
There you
Speaking
go.
of which,
See?
I want to go back and just say something about
Go
the
ahead,
whole
Tina.
AI thing
It's your
because I
turn.
wasn't able to do it. But I do
Right.
think that the AI, I think that artists like yourselves or like yourself who can be out there and sing and sound good with a guitar, you're going to be a commodity eventually. I mean, I think there's going to be so many AI artists that they're going to look for true, real talent, and it's going to be
completely agree.
valuable.
Yes, absolutely.
So
I hope we never reach the point where it's considered a commodity. I hope it always stays at the forefront, but the path we're going, it very much so could.
Well, you know what though? You know what's going to happen with all these people that think they're artists? The cowboy thing comes into play. But you're not a musician. You're fake ass.
you're fake.
You're going to start getting that stuff with people, and then they'll be like, "Oh, this is stupid. I better learn how to play it." You know what I mean? And they'll
Absolutely.
get called out,
The
and then
audience
that'll
can
go
tell.
away.
The audience can tell.
It'll correct
Mhm.
itself.
Oh yeah.
If you know, you know. The
If you know,
cowboy,
you
the
know.
AI artist, all of it.
Cowboy way.
Yeah,
Got a song story question,
I
Tina?
do. Jet, we play a game called the Song Story Game, right?
Awesome.
This is specifically a press play game, and I will send you one so you have one
Please
for your
do.
coffee table.
I'm gonna
There's a
play
few
it with
different
my
ways
co-writer.
you can play it.
Do it. Play
But
with
it's a good
everybody.
way to get to know people if you're in a room with strangers, or a fun game to play with a girl that you're trying to get to know a little better. But it has everything to do with who you are through music, not about your music, right?
Okay. All right.
So, okay. So your first card is, what is the first song you ever dedicated to someone?
That's a good one. Okay.
Like, is it like called up the radio station and said, "Can you play this for so and so?" Or
Yeah, I don't think they did that in his generation, but he may have dedicated it to her somehow, some way.
like a mixtape? No, that's past
Written,
that too.
I can do like the first one that I've written and released that I've dedicated to somebody.
Sure.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Midwest Sunset.
Tell me
it's-
the story.
So it is about my girlfriend. So we met freshman year in college and started dating, and I had the idea for the song, and had no idea how to spin it. How do you write a song about a sunset? And it wasn't until I sat down with one of my best friends in the whole world, Erica Latza, phenomenal writer and artist. And she said, "Well, why don't you just write it about her?" And I was like, that makes more sense. This is why 2 minds in the room is better than just one.
Yeah, yeah.
And we wrote the song, and my girlfriend had never had a song written about her. And then it went to the rest of the world to listen to, and she'd never had that happen either. So it was a new experience for both of us.
You want to talk about swooning a woman? Swooning a woman is you write a song for her like that.
You
That's
could
awesome.
say that. Yeah, that was
That's quite a dedication, Jet.
it was honestly probably the most Belmont thing I could have done. that, if I'm being so honest, is write and release a song about somebody at Belmont.
That is awesome.
Do you
That is so
know-
fun.
If there's anything that we need, it's connection, especially in the world that we live in today, which is exactly the reason why we created these cards, the Song Story game. We sit and we talk to artists all the time about the stories behind the songs, the story behind the songs that they loved when they were growing up. And so we put together a game that you can own now and put it on your coffee table. And there's a few different ways you can play it. You can play it just as a conversation starter. You can play it with couples and besties for points, or you can play it in a team setting. 3 different ways you can have a lot of fun talking about music. One of my favorite ways to play it is to actually answer the question, give a little detail, and then play the song. This game could go on for hours. It's entirely up to you, but get yours today at pressplay.me.
You know, it makes me think, going back to AI for a minute. Imagine, hey, I got you a song, write you a song, right? And then you give it to her and you're like, did you write this? Well, I threw it in the machine and it wrote it for you.
That's a thing. Have you seen the Instagram reels that are about this? Where
No.
as an anniversary gift, you can, I guess, I've never done it. I write the songs myself. You can give
Oh, yeah, you get a songwriter write a song for
the
somebody.
AI program ideas
heard that.
about your significant other,
And it'll write a song.
and it will write a song. And the Instagram reels are just full of people reacting because they'll hear like Megan in the middle of the verse, and they'll be like, "Is this song about me?" And then they realize it's AI and it's your anniversary gift, honey. It is a real thing that people can do.
Yep.
After a while, you go like, well, that didn't take much effort. You just threw it in a machine. Now you picking up a guitar and you, from your heart, write lyrics, man.
That means
a woman will melt.
It hits harder.
I'm glad it worked. We're still together, so it worked.
That's good.
Now Tiffany sang. Now Tina sang a Tiffany song to one of her early boyfriends.
I
Really?
did, but that wasn't the first song I ever dedicated. Was a song by Lisa and the Cult Jam, Head to Toe. I snuck out of the roller skating rink and went to the local store and bought the 45 Head to Toe by Lisa and the Cult Jam, took it back to the skating rink and had the DJ
Wow,
played it to the guy that I liked at the time. His name was Joel.
that takes some effort, though. That is effort right
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
That is impressive.
That would
See,
have blown me away.
I know the first time I told that story, I was like, sorry, Mom.
I
think it
was
was like-
homeschooled. I never got this experience. I was homeschooled until college, so I never got to do any of that. I never had any of it.
You didn't go to the roller skating rink?
I went to a high school freshman year homecoming dance. If you see pictures of me freshman year, I look 9.
Yeah.
And we were in central Missouri around a bunch of farm boys, and I walked in and I was 5 foot nothing, 90 pounds, with a girl that I've been friends with basically my whole life. And I remember, I think we danced to one song. I didn't know anybody at the school because I was homeschooled. They were the ones that went to the school. My 3 cousins that were seniors, one of them showed up. The other 2 blew it off and didn't show up. The one that did show up, she was with her boyfriend the whole time, and she didn't want to hang out with her freshman cousin. Now she and I are like great friends, and we're really close. She's like my sister, but at the time, and I look back on it, and I was like, man, I'm actually kind of glad I was homeschooled right now.
That's right. Listen, kids, get out there, or moms,
No.
homeschool your kids. It's important.
Yes.
Jet, you could have been like me. See, like Tina, like the cute blonde, and the boys liked her. Now me, I'm at the roller rink, and they say, "Okay, time for couples skate," and that's where I went. Well, I guess I get off the floor now and go get a Pepsi.
There we go.
But nobody gonna skate with me. Look at me. Till
That's
I got
okay.
older. Now, till I got older, I
There
didn't
you
have
go.
I didn't have a girlfriend till after high school, because then I had a job and I carried a pager and I had my own car.
I mean, that's
And they
pretty.
were like, "Oh,
That's pretty much the same thing with me. So
yeah." It's like,
we-
"Oh, he's
got
got
our priorities right. We were out
he
here
may not
making a
be-
living.
he may not be Brad Pitt, but he could take me out to dinner or something.
There you go. He can afford
He
to
can
take me out
afford
to-
to spoil me.
Yes, there you go.
Boys, next song.
Next song. Sorry.
All right, so now we're going to get more serious now. Prove me wrong. An appropriate song nowadays. Here, perfect example, we're not political, but Team USA goes out, wins a gold medal, not since 1980. Hockey nut that I am, I've been my whole life. I remember 1980. I was there in my grandmother's living room watching us beat the Russians and running around the apartment, screaming and yelling that we won. And then we beat Finland, I think, for the actual gold in 1980. And I cried. I was like 9 years old. And there was just, and if you remember, everybody, people that are listening or younger people may not know, our country was hell at that time. OPEC was driving us crazy with oil prices, and Jimmy Carter was our president. And we were gas lines. People had to wait odd even days to get gas.
Interest rates on housing was 12 to 18%.
12 to 18% in interest rates. Everyone had no money. Unemployment was skyrocketing. We had hostages in Iran, of which our friends in Canada released some of them, but it was just horrible. And then we have the Russian juggernaut hockey team that no one could beat. The USA team played them earlier in the year and got crushed 12-0. I think was the score.
Yes.
There was no way in hell these group of college kids were going to beat these all-time warrior Russian hockey players. And to watch them win was the most goosebumpy thing I'd ever had in my life. So here we are, 2026. The women's team, remember, there's no women's hockey back then. They go out and win it.